is once I realized that my triggers were just my outside world mirroring back to me something that needed to be healed. I said, send me all of the triggers. I want to know what is unhealed. I want to know what I have not healed yet so that it can all come to me and just overload me at once. I don't care that I trigger you. I am your mirror. And that's one of the greatest tools that you can ever have. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to give such a big thank you to everyone who subscribed. I'm so appreciative of you all. This is so crazy to me that I'm able to connect with everyone and just share what I've learned in my healing journey and my self-development journey. And I want to give more to you and talk to you how I talk to my clients, because that's how we get results. Coddling, enabling someone that does not get results. So like I said, if I trigger you, I don't care, because I know that's how you get results. I am your mirror. Now, I'm not saying I'm the only mirror just right now because you are watching this video, but anything that is triggering you is a mirror to your inner world. Triggers are literally healing opportunities. They're opportunities to recognize that your body's literally telling you, because I know whenever you're triggered, it's not just in the mind. Your body has a physical reaction. It does not feel good. And so when that happens, that's an opportunity for you to heal. That's an opportunity for you to see, where am I still fragmented? Where am I still seeking something outside of myself? And why is that triggering me? You're only triggered because you feel like someone is saying something that threatens your worldview, that makes you feel that you don't have what they have and you want it because you're looking outside of yourself. Triggers are just a mirror for what's going on in your subconscious, what's going on in your inner world. And it's showing up externally so that you have a chance to actually heal it. So if you are truly committed to the inner work process, you're going to face your triggers. You're going to be able to sit there and feel through them. That's how I deal with them now. I sit there and I allow myself to actually feel the emotion. Because when you repress that, when you repress the emotion and don't let it be felt, the trigger is going to keep building up. And every time that nerve is hit, the reaction is going to be more and more and more until you either are controlled by your triggers or you have to heal them. And if you do it early on, it's so much easier than having this ingrained reaction. It's like this habitual reaction that you form whenever you continue to let something trigger you over and over and over again. If you are going to be successful in whatever venture you set out to do, maybe that's to be more feminine, to level up in your femininity, maybe that's to start a business, maybe that is anything to do with money or men or anything that you have trauma around. Doing what you're passionate about, actually showing up online. Maybe you want to be an influencer, start your business, whatever you want to do. Triggers are going to come up. They're going to happen. And you can't hard work your way past these things, because all of that work that you're going to put in is going to be coming from this place that is unhealed trauma. And when you're operating from a place of unhealed trauma, everything around you is going to reflect that. Your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world, and how you feel about yourself and what you think about yourself, what your subconscious is always telling you. Think about it like this. Your body is the computer or the phone, the hardware. Your subconscious brain and your thoughts and your beliefs, that's the software. That's the iOS. That's everything that's running in the background on your computer that's having it operate. Or all the apps running in the background on your phone. That's your subconscious. And we don't even know that these beliefs are active. And so when a trigger comes up, that allows something that's going on in your subconscious and brings it forward for you to notice it. It says, hey, like, I want to be healed. I want to be healed. Please heal me. Stop reacting to me emotionally. Let me be felt. Let me be healed. And sometimes these things can stay dormant until you're actually on your level up journey, until you're actually diving into your inner work and you're allowing the other triggers to be healed. And now it's time to allow the other ones to come up. Nowadays, we have trigger warnings on everything. We have, trigger warnings. Everyone's so sensitive to what anyone says on both sides of everything. However many sides there are, everyone is triggered by something. There's so much division. There's so much distraction. There's so much just uptightness about, oh my God, like, I don't agree with what you're doing. How horrible. Let me leave a comment. Let me disagree with this person. No. Whenever we are focused on division and we're focused on I'm right and you're wrong and I don't like what you're doing and this, it's all a distraction. It's all a distraction from you actually taking your personal power back and healing yourself. When we care about our own reality more than allowing other people to take our peace away from us, our energy, our peace, and our time are some of the most valuable things. And we let people trigger us and it throws off our entire day. If you get triggered, actually, I used to, if I got triggered or if something bothered me, if I got super emotional at the beginning of the day, I couldn't get anything done for the rest of the day. All of my discipline out the window, all of my willpower out the window. It wasn't gonna happen. So whenever I would get triggered, I would let my entire peace, all of my energy be ruined. All of my energy would go to this thing that triggered me. Everything. It would be messed up. I wouldn't be able to get anything done. If I said I was going to film TikToks or YouTube videos, or I was going to film something for a course and I really wanted to help people today, because that's the whole mission of this channel, is to actually share with you what I have spent the last few years learning so that you don't have to waste that time and you can learn it quicker. I'm not able to serve. I'm not able to contribute if I'm triggered and then I'm letting it rule my entire day. And I know I'm not the only person. Someone watching this is going to relate to this. And so that's what I'm making it for, is once I realized that my triggers were just my outside world mirroring back to me something that needed to be healed. Because every level that you go up in your level up journey, if you're an entrepreneur, you know this in your business, it's all the same. So this can be applied all the same. But literally, to get to the next level, you're going to have to unravel so many new triggers that go. Something's going to bother you on this level and then you heal it. And then something new is going to bother you on the next level, because that is the inner work. That's how you get there. You don't get there just by affirmations and deluding yourself. There are triggers that are going to come up because they're going to mirror something and say, hey, to get to your next level, this is what you need to heal. And that's why it feels weird. That's why it feels uncomfortable. So how do we turn those triggers into healing moments instead of just ruining our whole day and derailing everything? We realize that they are a mirror. They're mirroring everything that you need to know. That's why when I say stop looking outside of yourself, because everything's right here, even your triggers, they are trying to tell you, hey, like you have this part of you that's unhealed. Maybe it's a jealousy trigger. Maybe it's something that threatens you. Maybe you have a fear of rejection that comes up, or some sort of money wound. It's just showing you what you need to heal to get to the next level. That's it. And because there's an unpleasant emotion attached to it, we allow our emotions to run the show. That's what most of us do. We allow our emotions to determine what we're going to do for the day. You wake up, something triggers you, and then you don't do any of it because your emotions are in the way. And you're like, I don't feel like it. But that's when you need to do it the most. Literally, that's when you need to do it the most. If you're truly committed to the level up, to the inner work, to healing, to self-improvement in general, you have to get comfortable with triggers. Allow yourself to feel through them. And then go to a journal. You can do this in your mind too, if you're somewhere where you don't have access to a journal, or in your notes app. We literally have phones, right? Like we have phones where we can write something on here. So don't let it get away from you, because one, if you repress it, it's just going to come up later, even worse. Two, you miss out on an opportunity to heal. So many people are so wounded that this is how they use their triggers. They use their triggers as an opportunity to release anger at someone, to project at someone their insecurities. They make it very obvious what they are by what they get triggered by. And they show it so visibly on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, all the comments. I don't respond to negativity, but I used to, because it used to trigger me too. I can't be bothered by a comment that somebody leaves. But on the rare occasion that I am, straight to journal. Straight to it. Because I know that as you start to gain success too, you're going to be triggered more and more and more, because you're bringing everything back to yourself and you're finding it all within yourself. But there's still little parts that are missing. And you have to keep bringing it back. And those triggers will lead you to the pieces that you have left by trauma. Trauma causes fragmentation, energetic fragmentation. So each little trauma that happens to you, it doesn't have to be anything huge either. It could have left you from childhood feeling like you're not good enough for doing what you're passionate about. And so that could be something that you're very fragmented on, and you need to bring that back into yourself and be like, I am good enough for doing what I'm passionate about. Just because someone told me that I wasn't doesn't make that the truth. That is not the truth. That's some arbitrary lie. That's some projection from them. And then we internalize it, especially as children, from ages like 1 to 8. We are our most vulnerable because we can have anything, we can be indoctrinated into any thought. So most of your limiting beliefs come from childhood or very traumatic experiences. And the whole process of inner work is not to go in and heal and replace parts of yourself, but it's to find them again and be okay with them and level up these pieces into who you want to become. That's the whole process. It just takes time and consistency. And using the triggers will literally quantum leap you. If y'all don't know what that means get to the result faster. Instead of spending 3 years going through your inner work and trying to never get triggered and always healing and having a safe space and being so fragile, use the triggers to get there in like half the amount of time or a fourth of the amount of time. I can't tell you how much I have grown this year because I literally told the universe, I said, send me all of the triggers. I want to know what is unhealed. I want to know what I have not healed yet so that it can all come to me and just overload me at once. I mean, be careful with it because it'll literally happen. But I was ready for it. I was like, you know what? I'm ready to grow. I'm committed to this. The triggers are going to come up eventually anyways. So why not now? Why not now? And I also want to mention that feminine energy is the mirror. So our triggers are mirrored back to us by our feminine. It's not the masculine. It's the feminine energy. If you see in a relationship a man and a woman, she mirrors back to him and multiplies what he gives to her. So women who are just so spoiled in like such a good way, spoiled and just treated like a queen and treated like a princess, have that princess treatment by their man, and he pours so much love into her and provides for her and gives her all of her needs. She's giving back to him such potent feminine energy, that magnetic femininity. But the men who don't do that for their women are nagging or unhappy or unsatisfied because they're getting multiplied and they're giving them, mirroring back to them and multiplying back to them that their needs are not fulfilled. And so that's not going to be a healthy relationship. You have to find a dynamic that works for you, but that's just a really good example of how the feminine energy is a mirror. And I know I mainly have women watching here, so that's why I mentioned that, but it's so powerful. When I see or hear or read a trigger, I let that feeling, that like stomach dropping feeling happen. I let myself feel through it because I know that I'm safe to feel these emotions. It's okay. It's okay to feel the emotions because they're temporary. It's not going to last. Even though it's so unpleasant. If you can embrace that and actually do the shadow work with it and be comfortable with the negative emotions that you feel in that moment, you're unstoppable. Seriously. Because most people can't do that. Most people are not comfortable enough with themselves, with their emotions, with their feelings, with their inner work. People don't even do inner work. And then they get triggered and oh my God, it's an ego storm. It's literally an ego storm. And once that trigger is set off, derailed, completely derailed. Their peace is gone. Their energy is now all towards that trigger and not in a healthy way. And so that's why it's so important to get that under control, especially, once again, back to feminine energy. There's a feminine journey that as women, we have to go on. And being able to be comfortable with and in power of our emotions and not letting them rule us and determine every decision. Like why are we dating the guys that we feel the most for rather than the ones that feel the most for us? and treat us in the way that we deserve to be treated. Make it make sense. But that's because that's the wounded little girl energy. That's not the queen. That's not the complete queen energy who's operating there. That's someone who still needs the validation, because whenever we are chasing after someone that we just feel so much for and they don't meet any of our values, they don't actually meet any of our standards of what we wanted. That's why it's so important to have a love list, by the way. When they don't meet any of those things and they don't spoil us and we're constantly having to chase them, but our emotions are ruling that entire relationship. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. Why would you want to be with the person that you have to chase? No, that is opposite to the nature of women. The sperm chases the egg does not chase the sperm. It is not how it's supposed to be. And so when you realize that there's a deep-rooted self-worth issue. And if that triggers you, you can use that as a healing opportunity too. And I'll save this for another video, but women should not be chasing a man. That makes zero sense. Literally zero. And so when I say that I don't care if I trigger you, I'm not being mean. It's just that you need to get comfortable with your triggers. And hopefully I do, so that I can provide you with some opportunities to heal whatever that trigger is too. That's the whole journey. That's the whole level up. That's the inner work, is getting through this. And you cannot bypass dealing with the triggers, because they're going to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. There's no bypassing. You really have to go through it. You have to go through it. And once you're on the other side of that though, it's so freeing. The triggers are a ball and chain to your freedom, to your peace, to you having autonomy over your energy, over where you spend your energy and your time and where your emotions flow to. It's freedom from that, dealing with that. The inner work is the freedom. And I know we talked about feminine energy a bit, and I love talking about feminine energy. So if you want more of that, definitely comment. But the feminine journey is the inner work. It is, because our self-worth does not come from these masculine accomplishments. Confidence can come from things like that, but self-worth, like our intrinsic worth, does not come from that. So now you know how to deal with your triggers, how to not let them completely derail your day, because it's not worth it. Don't give people that power over you. Don't give anything that power over you. Use it as a healing opportunity. Quantum leap your healing journey. Literally, you can cut the time in half. You can cut the time from years into months, into weeks, if you are actually able to do this. This will genuinely change your life. All I want to do is bring useful information to you that has helped me. And I know that this is the main thing. This is the main thing. That if you can do this, you can do anything in your self-healing journey. And this is something that I found in therapy. I actually really disliked how therapists went about this, is because they would almost try to coddle the triggers and be like, well, you know, you can just avoid that, or don't deal with it. No. You have to deal with it. You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to have to deal with it later. And personally, I would rather deal with it now and get through it and actually be able to level up faster and faster and do my inner work faster, and not be focusing on all of these wounds, whether that be in relationships or with money, anything like that. I want that dealt with ASAP. I'm not waiting. I'm impatient, okay? I'm impatient with my healing journey. So let's figure it out ASAP. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely go back and watch my last video for how to rebrand yourself, because I think that after you deal with your triggers, that's definitely one of the most important things. I also have an alter ego guide for that video that you can download. So whenever you are feeling triggered, so this is something I will do personally, is I do this a couple times a year, maybe once a month if I'm going through like a really extreme period of just up leveling, is that I sometimes feel that I will get triggered myself as feral. But if I have my alter ego and I'd be like, she does not care about someone leaving this comment, or she does not care about someone saying this thing to her, or bringing this self-doubt into her mind. No, she does not care. And so she's going to do it anyways. And so it's easier to almost outsource that into an alter ego And a lot of successful people have done this in the past. So definitely go look for that guide. I'll link it down below. But otherwise, I'm gonna just leave it at that. So bye, y'all. Have an amazing rest of y'all's day. And I love y'all so much.